Simple SaaS products that help you track your data, they are dead. SaaS agents that track your data, access your data, and do parts of your job for you, they're really hot right now. Here's a big question though. What agents should you build and who should you build it for? Because what's stopping your ideal customers from just vibe coding it themselves? In this episode, I'm going to walk you through a specific ICP that I believe you should be targeting and 5 very specific SaaS agent ideas that you can build and start selling this week. And by the end of this episode, I'm going to explain to you why you should target this ICP, exactly what these 5 ideas are, what the go-to-market strategy should be for these ideas. And by the way, if you're wondering why I'm giving these away, I'll also explain why I'm giving away these ideas if they're so damn good as well. And by the end of this episode, you're going to understand exactly how to think about SaaS agents today in 2026, how to sell them and how to develop them. And hopefully you'll pursue one of these ideas and accelerate your path to owning a thriving SaaS agent business. Intro. Okay, now to explain these 5 key SaaS ideas, I'm going to explain first my framework that I follow to develop these ideas. It's my Unstoppable Ideas framework. It's the who, why, and what. So I'm going to first explain exactly the who, why, and what. I'm going to explain the go-to-market strategy, and then I'm going to walk you through the 5 core ideas. Let's just get the explanation out of the way. I really believe in these ideas, but the reason I'm not pursuing these ideas is very simple. When I first started my company, ToutApp, so I grew up ToutApp. We were backed by Andreessen Horowitz and Jackson Square Ventures. We sold it to a market leader called Marketo. I joined as SVP of strategy for Marketo. We did a 2-year transformation and we sold Marketo to Adobe for $4.75 billion. And right after that, I was like, well, I'm so young, I need to do something. So I was bumbling around with lots of different ideas. And eventually I landed on my current business, which is Unstoppable. Through the course of running Unstoppable, we've had tremendous success stories with all the founders that I've helped. It's a coaching and advisory business where I help you in scale software companies, whether it's an AI company or a SaaS company. We've helped hundreds of founders. And through that time, I went on certain side quests. I tried different ideas, but I learned that the years where I just stayed focused and compounded on my core business, Unstoppable, everything worked better for me in my life. So I'm committed to Unstoppable. I'm committed to growing that business. But just like any other founder, I get ideas. And it's like I'm like a retired bank robber and I'm scoping out. I can't help but go into a bank and scope out the safe and how to rob it. So I get these ideas. So I do these videos for 2 very simple reasons. 1, so I can get it out there. It's my cathartic way to just get it out of there and explain what these ideas are so that founders like you can run with it. And the second reason, which is entirely selfish but also super helpful, is if you decide to run with one of these ideas, you work with me inside of my launch program where I help founders go from idea to validation to initial customers to predictable revenues. All right, now let's get into exactly what these pieces are. So the specific who, the ICP that I believe these 5 ideas are perfect for are what I would call mid-market AEs, account executives, and I'll put salespeople more broadly over here, but I like to be specific for my who. And the reason I believe you should go after mid-market AEs is they're not the types that are gonna vibe code stuff. So they really are willing to pay, they have money. And I know this ICP very intimately because my last company, ToutApp, we pioneered the sales engagement space. And the sales engagement, I spent all day long going bottoms up in the beginning with selling to salespeople. Salespeople are like founders and entrepreneurs, except they have more money than us, especially when we're first starting out. And the reason for that is they get paid commission and they get paid a salary. So if you pitch them on something, and I'll explain how to price this, you pitch it on something and they're gonna make more money on their commission, they're willing to invest in you to actually use that as a tool and gain an edge. I have built businesses selling to these folks, they're incredible people, and they're not the type that are gonna be sitting around vibe coding stuff. Like some might be, but most of them are like captains of football teams versus the nerd engineer. They're like, look, I'll pay you money, give me the agent, and if it makes more money, I'll keep paying you more money. So it's super simple. So that's why I like this who. Now the why, especially for mid-market AEs, they're actually dealing with a high volume of deals. That's the nature of the beast for mid-market. And there's also a long ramp time. So new AEs are just trying to ramp up and they get a base, but they're not really earning their commissions until they're fully ramped. So they want to ramp as fast as possible. And a lot of times, the companies aren't really equipped to train them and ramp them fast enough to be fully productive. So they're looking for an edge. And even true today, especially today, is there's essentially a churn and burn culture. This is something that most VPs of sales, the good ones, won't admit to out loud, but it's kind of true. let's just say you have $10 million of revenue you need to hit. Well, in that case, you probably need about 2 reps. But you also know that there's a ramp time, you need to hit it by a certain time, and there's also a failure rate. So instead of hiring 2 reps, you're probably gonna hire 6, knowing that 2 are gonna make it. So it's a churn and burn culture. You kind of know that not everyone's gonna make it, and you're gonna make some hiring mistakes. You hire a little bit more, especially at venture-backed companies. And that way you still hit your number, even though a bunch of salespeople fail out. That's just the nature of the beast. So it's a churn and burn culture, so these AEs are looking for an edge. They're looking for a way to win, knowing that most of their peers aren't gonna make it. One of them needs to make it, so they wanna make it. The what here is my rule for this, and you'll see this whenever I talk about my Unstoppable Ideas blueprint, is you have to be 10 times better than the status quo and the competition. My what here is 10x better than their CRM, which is I wanna give them 5 AI agents that do part of their jobs for them and increases their likelihood of success and commission. And fundamentally, it should increase their win rate. That's what it should be doing. Now, the way the landscape works is there's lots of CRMs out there. There's Salesforce, HubSpot, there's some up and comers, and they're all promising AI first and AI, but the truth of the matter is they're just database companies. And the other truth of the matter is I like picking on companies where I know the product manager working on the product goes home at 5 p.m. because that's what they signed up for. They signed up for a cushy job. And in those kind of scenarios, you can always build products as a startup that's gonna completely crush those bigger companies. So I think that there's a huge opportunity to make something 10 times better for these salespeople, and these salespeople are willing to pay because they will earn more commission, and therefore they'll just give you a slice of it. Now, the go-to-market strategy for this, and the reason I put this week and I meant it, you can build and sell this week, is this should be a $30 a month product. It should be a bottom up sale, meaning there should be a trial and product-led growth. You shouldn't be getting on sales calls, at least not to sell. You can get on calls to get them successful on it. So it should be $30 a month, bottoms up, and it should be inherently viral. Meaning you should engineer the product in a way where other salespeople will discover it. And that's what we did at ToutApp, and that got us to 100,000 registered users, 10,000 paying customers. It was incredible. And you can run the same play even today because the mechanics of how these guys and gals work together haven't changed. So you wanna go bottoms up. It needs to be product led. They need to be able to try the product and see immediate value, and they'll swipe the credit card and they'll keep paying you. And then you can land and expand. You can expand to the rest of the team and then go upward and sell to the manager for an enterprise license. So that's the go-to-market strategy for this. And you want to target mid-market AEs because they have the biggest problem, the most pain over here. Okay, that's kind of the chessboard. Let's go into idea number 1 for the AE. And the way I've laid out these 5 ideas is I've kind of followed what I teach in my Unstoppable Ideas blueprint, which is the who, why, and the what, and their jobs to be done. There's a natural life cycle on how these AEs work through each of the deals, and that's essentially we want to plug an agent in. And the thing is, I think of these as 5 distinct companies, 5 distinct products, because you can go very deep on this and get really great at it. You could also roll these up into one big platform eventually, but I think of these as 5 separate companies right now. The first one is the prospecting. This is where the AE is responsible for finding new deals. Don't worry, my idea is not this groundbreaking like, oh, it does cold email. Like, that's not what this is about. I have a very unique agent that I think you can sell. It'll sound very different if you do the go-to-market right, that you can sell. That's not just basic prospecting. But the job here is that they need to be prospecting. The idea here is similar ICP agent. That's the idea. So that's idea number 1. So what this agent does is you go to the website, it's like, hey, we're a similar ICP agent. What we're gonna do is look at the last 10 won deals, or whether it's just for you or if you're brand new, your peers. And we'll go out there and we'll identify 5 more companies that look just like it that you can now go prospect into and sell into. And we'll use the data that we learned from those deals in terms of the conversations and how we won them and the pain points and the logos, and use that to prospect into 5 new ICP deals. And by the way, this is a subscription product. It's free to start. We'll give you the first 5 deals. You get a 7-day trial. And then every month, we'll get you 5 new deals based on new data. So there's a recurring revenue there. This is one of the things that's happening in the market. SaaS is not dead, and AI is making SaaS stronger than ever. The thing that is really thriving is the recurring revenue model. So just saying like, hey, it's $30 a month, that's subscription service billing. The recurring revenue is stronger than ever. In fact, more than 50% of ChatGPT's revenues are actually subscription revenues. So that SaaS, software as a service business model, is stronger than ever. And so the way I would architect this is say, okay, you get 5 deals to prospect into, and that's included in the $30 a month. And then if you want more, you can buy more credits for more deals. So if on month 1, you're like, hey, I want 50 deals, I don't want 5, that's cool. We'll charge you a certain number of credits for each additional deal, so you can actually add on the extra credits there and increase the spend pretty easily. So that's idea number 1 that goes into the prospecting stage, and you can go really deep on this, on really how to understand the data in the CRM and how to find similarities and how to go look at public data sets to look at how to find similar companies like that aren't customers already, and develop the prospecting based on the data from the won deals, meaning that, if it's similar companies and you covered their pain points and you understood exactly why they bought and what the urgency was and what the role was, you can apply that to the next 5 companies. So this can get into a very smart agent. This is why I said in the beginning, these are 5 distinct ideas, because they're not just generic agents, they can go really deep. And today you have the large language models, you have the data access, you have the workflows, but the real alpha here is proprietary data and the prompts that analyze that data. So looking at the CRM data and the prompts that you develop to really understand the similar ICP agent and how to do the messaging and what to pull and what to analyze, there's a lot of alpha there, and you can go really deep, and no one can vibe code this. And so you can build a really, really smart agent that just prints 5 similar deals and how to prospect into them based on existing data. It's like super powerful. So that's idea number 1. Before we go to idea number 2, hi, I'm TK. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, I help SaaS and AI founders build incredible software companies with a differentiated go-to-market strategy. So if you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon, or you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode. And also, if you're part of this community, this fast-growing community, if you're part of my coaching programs here at Unstoppable, my people, welcome back. It's really awesome to see you over here. All right, idea number 2 goes into the next stage of the process, which is discovery. So, if you follow along the day in the life of an account executive, as they're prospecting, they get deals, and then they're running discovery calls. And this is one of the things that you'll learn as a founder if you ever get into a sales-driven motion, or you may intrinsically know. This is something that I learned when I first got into sales, because every founder has to learn sales. Otherwise, you're just not going to be successful. You're selling investors, employees, and customers. The biggest thing that was eye-opening for me when I was learning sales is the best salespeople aren't necessarily the best at running the sales process. They're the best at understanding if there is a deal to be had. And there's essentially 2 kinds of people you're going to be interacting with. There's the kind of people that truly have the pain point and are willing and able to buy, or it's going to be a bunch of tire kickers. And I've done this long enough in sales roles as a founder in founder-led sales, where now I can immediately tell, is this person just a tire kicker and wasting my time and just trying to get something free or don't have anything better to do? Or is this a serious buyer? And the best account executives really understand, is this a serious buyer or is this just a tire kicker? That's my second idea, where this agent can now start participating in the actual discovery calls. And based on the questions and answers, based on what they're sharing, based on what we know about the company and the person that's there, this is the serious versus, and I'm going to put this in red because this is what kills sales careers. This is the serious versus tire kicker agent. And this agent, their pure job is after every call, based on all the data available in the CRM and any other public data and any other records and the data from the call and what they discussed and what they said and what they didn't say, and the prior calls that you've had and the wins that you have based on all of this data, its singular job is to tell the account executive at the end of the call or after the calls to say, hey, there's a serious deal to be had here, or this person is a giant waste of time. And I'll be honest, even in my own businesses, I've gotten to a point I've started to learn that if you just flush out the tire kickers, it creates room for better pipeline and better quality people. So I'm actually very quick and almost ruthless and sometimes very rude to just let people know, like, hey, I think you're wasting your time and my time. So I don't think this is a fit. So I wish you the best. And the more I do that, the more successful I've been, because it made room for better people. So this agent's sole job is to just ride along with the AE and debrief on the calls, and not the coaching or the critical stuff. It's just like, hey man, I think there's a deal here, or I think here's all the reasons why they're not going to buy and they're just wasting your time or they're lying. And LLMs are actually really good at detecting lies and detecting gaps or contradictions or omissions, believe it or not, if you use the right prompts. And so this is a really valuable tool. And the value prop on this is very straightforward. It's like, hey, this thing's just gonna ride along and tell you which deals are a waste of time and tell you which ones are actually more likely to win. Not critique you, not try to scold you, but really just to be a lie detector for you. So that's idea number 2. Okay, now idea number 3 goes into the next step of the sales process. The next step of the sales process is essentially their deal cycle. This is where they've had their discovery call and maybe they're doing a demo, they're working through procurement, they're working through security. There's any number of steps depending on how sophisticated the deal cycle is. It's not as sophisticated as an enterprise buyer, which can run for 12 months. But for the mid-market, where the average deal time should be about 30 to 60 days, there's still enough pieces that could go well or could go wrong and a deal could fall apart. By this time, we've validated that there's a real deal to be had and we want to chase it. And we've kicked out the tire kickers and we protected the AE's time. So this is where the deal cycle really starts to kick in. Now, there are tools out there and agents out there and AI solutions out there around sales enablement, around reading call recordings and coaching the AE. There's a whole bunch of things, but what I don't see exist in a really great way is the 2 biggest, most important things that an AE needs in this stage of the deal cycle. The first one is objections, and the second one is negotiations. And this negotiation one I mentioned in a prior episode, I went really in depth into it, but this is subtly different because this is more of an agent that's really doing some of the work for you. So this is kind of a deeper version of that idea, but let me explain why these 2 are important. At the end of the day, once you know there's a deal, this is something I've learned with salespeople and just doing sales and founder-led sales is there's really 2 things you're managing for. One, what are the objections? Meaning, what are the reasons they're not gonna buy? Because we've already established that they really need this, there's a real problem and we can solve it. So really the questions are, what are the objections? What are the reasons they're thinking in their head, whether they're saying it out loud or we've seen before, on why they shouldn't do the deal or they shouldn't do the deal now. And the second one is negotiations. There could be around price, it could be around terms, it could be around the sequence of events that go through. There is going to be negotiations. So if you have an agent that's truly helping with objections, let me put agent over here also so it's all in purple. I like my colors. If you're doing an agent that can listen in on the conversations and the email and the CRM and start to detect, here are the big objections and you haven't addressed them yet, or here's how to negotiate and here's the key negotiation points. And again, you're referring back to prior successful deals, proprietary data, along with the LLMs, that's success. Then you can create an agent that can really, really help the AE increase their win rates, because this is where a lot of deals are lost. A lot of times AEs are chasing bad deals and that's what burns up their energy, impacts win rates. And the other one is they just don't know how to navigate the objections. They didn't see a certain objection and a competitor wins the deal. So this particular agent is specially trained on detecting objections. And again, objections could be explicit for a deal based on the data you have, or knowing that, hey, on the last 10 deals that we won, we encountered this one objection and that has not been resolved on this deal. That alone could make a huge difference. And so those are the things that you could do. And hopefully you can start to see why there's so much depth into each of these agents. I don't think this is one big company. It could eventually become one big company. Each of these agents could go really long and deep on exactly what these agents could do and be really great at it, be world-class at it. And there's essentially a little bit of a formula that I think is coming together. There's a little bit of a formula of CRM data plus public data plus deep prompts plus LLM. Like that's the formula here for building these really uniquely differentiated and capable products. Because at the end of the day, the real alpha here is not the user interface or any of that. Those are so easy to copy in SaaS today. The real alpha, the real way you can really deliver success is your prompts and the way you process this data and the way you bubble it up is just so good. These reps are like, oh my God, I swear by this. Like I'm winning so many more deals. And at that point, you're unstoppable. Like they're never gonna leave you. And it's gonna spread. It's gonna spread across the sales team. Even if the AE doesn't wanna share their secret weapon, the manager's gonna pick on, and you're gonna hit up the manager and you're gonna say, hey, your AE is doing really well. You should roll this out to the rest of your AEs, and it's gonna spread. So that's why these are so powerful. Now, before I go to idea number 4 and 5, let me pause here for a second. My intention around this video was to show you 5 great SaaS ideas that you can build this year, and you can build and sell this week. They're not really crazy to develop. You can get it going. You can sell it pretty easily. Using my ideas framework of who, why, and what, my unstoppable ideas framework, there's a very clear go-to-market strategy. So if you're starting to see the power in this, I gave you the 3 ideas already, and I also explained why I'm giving these away. Like, I really do believe in these ideas. Thankfully, I have a really successful business with Unstoppable, and I know when I focus on it, it compounds. And so, and the other reason is I hope you come work with me inside of my launch program if you choose to pursue one of these ideas to validate it and go to initial revenues and predictable revenues. That's what my launch program is for. And then I have my go-to-market program to scale it. So that's my other reason to give it. So if you're starting to see the power in all of this and why I'm so excited about these, can I just get a yes in the comments below? And also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. Also, the one more resource that I have for you is my 10-point SaaS and AI business checklist. This checklist is my most comprehensive resource on all the ideas that I've shared, my unstoppable ideas framework, it goes into that, and how I think about the path from going from idea all the way to the 0 to 1, which is the real customers, revenues, predictable revenues, so that you can scale. So you don't have to go anywhere right now. I'll link to it in the description below. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this episode. And let's go to idea number 4. Okay, so at this stage for the AE, this one deal they're working on and all the deals they're working on, it basically diverges into one of 2 things. They either win it, that's one, or they lost it. So they either won the deal or lost the deal after they navigate the deal cycle. And there's 2 different agents that I think can be very powerful for each of these. For the won customers, the ones that you won, this is going to be an expansion and referral agent. What's the number 1 rule for the best AEs once you win a customer? The number 1 rule is get a referral. Get someone else that they would recommend you to. Rule number 2 is sell them the next thing. What's the next thing that they need? So expansion revenue and referrals are the 2 best things that the best AEs do. But the ones that are ramping, the ones that aren't the best, they don't know. So build an agent. Build an agent that will monitor for won deals, and just like this similar ICP agent, it monitors for it, looks at it and say, hey, this is the person to reach out to for a referral, and this is now the person to reach out to because their implementation is now successful. It's been 90 days. You want to sell them the next thing. So this expansion and referral agent just works around the clock, kind of like the similar ICP agent, but on the existing customer base to figure out new opportunities. And so that's idea number 4, again, leading to more win rates and more deals and more commission. For the lost one, this is something that I learned originally in the Tout App days, and then has been true for every single company and any sales-driven founder that I've worked with. The mantra is they always come back. I truly believe that. It's held true. If someone looks at buying a product that I have or service that I have and they don't buy, I've seen in a long enough timeline, they always come back. Because I know my products are the best. I know that they're going to continue to see my marketing. And it's held true for every company that I've coached or all my companies. They always come back. So the trick though, the requirement here is you do need to nurture them. So this last one is a nurture agent. This basically looks at, hey, you lost a deal, that sucks. There's plenty of software out there that looks at why'd you lose it, why do you suck, like all that stuff. I'm not trying to say that's an idea, and I don't think that's an original idea, but looking at the lost deals and just going from a place of assumption like, hey, they're gonna buy. They might go with a competitor, but a year later, they're gonna realize we're better and they're gonna come back. Or they're gonna try and build it on their own. And 3 months later, they're gonna realize that that was a terrible idea and they're gonna come work with us. So there's multitude of reasons why they wouldn't do it now. So we're just gonna nurture them, we're gonna educate them, we're gonna stay top of mind. So by the time they're ready, they'll come to us. And that's the nurture agent. And again, I'll put it in purple here because purple is the agent, 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 agent. Those are the 5 agents that you can build. All right, so now let's recap. 5 SaaS ideas for 2026 that you can build and sell this week. And the reason I think you can build and sell this week is it's purely accessing the CRM data, so that's an integration. Accessing public data, integration. It is your deep prompts, which you can do meta prompting to really develop for the version 1 and then improve from there. And then a great LLM. That's kind of the stack. So you can build this. You want to go sell this, you can sell it this week because you're targeting mid-market AEs. They're very visible. The problem is they have a high volume of deals. It's hard to keep up. There's a long ramp time. It's churn and burn culture. So you want to increase your win rates, and they'll pay, they have money. And what you want to do is build a 10 times better AI agent for very specific purposes. So you're not trying to sell them a CRM, you're not trying to sell them a whiz-bang solution, it's just one thing, very specific. The go-to-market strategy for this is $30 a month, and that's a very specific number because it's just $1 a day. So it's like, it's $1 a day. You can try it for free, and then you can convert after 7 days, and it's product-led, and we'll get on a call with you and make sure you're set up for success. So it's a very clear go-to-market strategy. The 5 ideas spans across the deal cycles this ICP goes through. So for prospecting, you have a similar ICP agent. For discovery, you have a serious versus tire kicker agent. For deal cycle, you have an objections and negotiations agent. For one, you have an expansion and referral agent. And for lost, you have a nurture agent. These are my 5 SaaS agent ideas, which incorporates the SaaS business model, which is recurring revenue, and AI and agents, which is very hot right now. So it's doing work for them. And you're not capped at $30 because all of these can manage the first 5 deals or 10 deals, and then additional deals will require additional credits. So there's natural revenue expansion on this. And then once you get a few reps in one company that's crushing it, and you'll know their numbers because you have access to all the data, you can go up top. Or you can have it go viral. You can choose the mechanics to unlock the full flywheel of growth. So now you know the 5 ideas. And if I held true to my promise, these are just like amazing ideas. I truly believe in them. Go ahead and smash that like button. And if you're in that stage where you're working on your idea and you're really trying to develop like, hey, how do I pick the right idea? Maybe you want to run with one of these ideas, and how do I get it out in the market, test it? How do I actually get my initial customers? So you should definitely grab a copy of my 10-point SaaS and AI business checklist. To grab a copy, just go to tkkader.com/checklist, and you'll get access to it on demand. And for your convenience, I also included it in the link below. It has all my resources on the big ideas I've shared and how to actually validate it and go from 0 to 1. It also has details around my launch program, where I work with you to navigate this phase based on my Bell-hardened framework. Also, if you got value from this video, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm if you haven't already. I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches, how to start, grow, scale, and exit your AI and SaaS business. It's an incredible time for you, so be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode. If you have a fellow founder that you want to start a company with and you're excited about one of these ideas or even my ideas framework, please share this with them. If you're part of a Slack group, WhatsApp group, Reddit group, please share this video. We want to serve as many founders as possible during this incredible time of building software companies. And also, once you grab a copy of the 10-point guide, also watch this video. Inside of this video, I give you my multi-threaded framework on how to launch a new SaaS idea so you don't waste months building the wrong product. So you can go check that out as well. And lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you inside the 10-point SaaS and AI business checklist, the next episode, and perhaps we'll be working together inside of my launch program. All those details below as well. Take care, everybody.